In 1818, I was born a slave in Cordova, Maryland. And I never knew the exact date. Very few slaves knew the exact date, even more than the horse. So I later adopted the date February 14th, because that was the last day that I see my mother. She was sold down the river. Yeah, before they took her away, she called me her little Valentine. I believe that my father was a white man. He was my mother's man. And for the rest of my life, I tried to find him. And at the age of 6, I was sold to you and Sophia. Oh, you know, Sophia was a very kind, tender-hearted woman. They treated me as one human being is supposed to be treated. So at the age of 12, she started to teach me the alphabet. And when her husband found out, he ordered her to stop. And it was at that point that I realized that my direct path from slavery to freedom was education. So I continued to copy and mimic everything that I seen white children doing. And I would go and write many books and become a publisher of a newspaper called The North Star. I stand before you today as a rock. And I stole his head and these limbs from my master, and I ran off. I escaped from slavery in 1838 on a northbound train to Philadelphia. I lived a full and productive life until February 20th, 1895. I died at home in Washington, D.C. at the age of 77.
People in the fight for freedom. It was white people, too. A lot of white people that dedicated their life to freedom. Like the President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln.
Hey, come on, man.
Good evening. First Ministers, I was the 16th President of the United States from 1861 to 1861. I was also instrumental in abolishing slavery by issuing the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863. That declared all persons held as slaves within the rebellion states during the Civil War are and henceforth shall be free. I led the country during the Civil War, which was the greatest crisis in American history, because it was America no South. I repent. I served one term from 1861 until I was assassinated in 1865. As my wife and I said in the theater during this play.
Another woman, you know, anyway. There became Malcolm X, you know, the most controversial president.
Mountain Middle, Omaha, Nebraska, from Earl Louise Little. I grew up in two-parent homes. My father, Earl, was a Baptist minister. We moved around a lot until we moved to Lansing, Michigan, selling in a white neighborhood. We soon found out there was a covenant that prevented the house to be sold to any non-white. In other words, no colored folks. On July 7, 1928, the house was burned to the ground. No fire wagons were dispatched to the scene. I have always believed that it was the action of the Ku Klux Klan. My father moved us to East Lansing and built a home there. The next year, my mother Louise had permission premonition there was about my father and asked him not to leave the house. Later that night, my father was killed in what police call a streetcar accident. Again, I knew it was planned. This is when I think I became the most racist man in America. In 1943, after being drafted, I loudly proclaimed that I wanted to fight for the Japanese and kill white folks. I was classified as 4F unit to the military service. I was later arrested for larceny and sentenced to 8 to 10 years. While I was incarcerated, 4 of my siblings converted to Islam. They introduced me to the words of Elijah Muhammad, who was in prison himself. When I was released, I joined the Nation of Islam and changed my name to Malcolm X.
Good afternoon, 1929. Following in my father's footsteps, I became a Baptist minister. I would eventually become an activist and a political philosopher who was one of the most prominent leaders in the civil rights movement. Inspired by Mahatma Gandhi's model of nonviolent resistance, I believe that peaceful protests will lead to the sympathetic media coverage and public opinion. My instincts proved correct when civil rights activists were subject to violent attacks with fire hoses and attack dogs by white officials on nationwide television. These brutal assaults drew nationwide outrage. With me at the helm, the civil rights movement achieved victories in the passage of the Civil Rights Act in 1964 and the Voting Rights Act in 1965. My nonviolence approach earned me the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. On August 28, 1963, at the historic march on Washington, I delivered my "I Have a Dream" speech. My dream was that all men would one day be treated equal and there would be racial equality. In the spring of 1968, I visited Memphis, Tennessee to support black sanitation workers. On April 4th, 1968, I was assassinated by James Earl Ray. I stood on the balcony of the Lorraine Hotel. Free at last. Free at last. Thank God Almighty.
I am the 44th President of the United States. I am the only, no, I take that back. I am the first African American to be elected President of the United States.
Okay.
Many people have mixed emotions about my tenure as President of the United States.
She better
But
bring
for
me
me,
that seat. I
being
mean,
instrumental
okay.
in the annihilation of the Osama bin Laden,
I didn't sign in.
the mastermind of September 11th tragedy was the most important thing I've accomplished for the good of the country. If I never did anything else, that was enough for me. People say being an
Sign my name.
President of the United States is a miracle.
Okay.
I say, serving 2 terms,
I don't know
living
what
a
y'all
television.
want.
I was not assassinated like so many before me is the miracle and the proof that Martin Freeman has come true.
I'm signing.
Watermelon everywhere, choosing
Lord have mercy.